All right, if you recall what we did in class, we are starting with the kind of uh, base formula of is over of equals percent over 100. This is what we're going to be filling in. And 100 is already a number. These other three values are not, and we need to um, fill them in either with numbers themselves or with a variable. And so we need to pair off each number or the word what with is, of, and percent. So is, the only thing that 6 can go with is because 6 is at the end, so that's is. That means that 10 is going with of, and what percent? Percent is what we're looking for, so we're going to put a variable there. So when we fill this in, we then say, okay, that means is will be 6, of will be 10, percent is we don't know, and this continues to be over 100. So those are the three values that we filled in. And now we're going to multiply the diagonals, like I've taught you, and we get 10 times x equals 6 times 100, or 10x equals 600, and then dividing by the coefficient. We get x is equal to 60. So what percent of 10 is 6? 60%. Okay, we'll do that again for this next problem. And we'll start with the is over of equals percent over 100. It's a good thing to just write that down at the start every time. And now let's fill it in with what we know. First, we need to just identify what's going with what. Is 30 of 100, and what percent? That's the thing we're looking for. So when we fill it in, we fill is with 30. We fill of with 100. We fill the percent with an x, and then 100 is 100, okay? What percent of 100 is 30? Well, we've already got this now as a fraction with 100 on the bottom. So it's gonna, can you guess what it's gonna be? If this also has 100 on the bottom, it's gonna be written exactly the same way, and x will be 30. But let's do the math just to verify it. Multiplying the diagonals, we say 100 times x equals 30 times 100. Simplifying that, 100x equals 3,000. And then dividing by the coefficient of 100. We get x is equal to, and you can see how these zeros, that cancels off, and that one cancels off, and we get 30 over 1, or just 30. And let's call it 30% because that stands for a percent. All right, let's do the next. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to start with is over of equals percent over 100. And you can see how handy this is. It really does work out really neatly like that. Is 4.6 of 46, and what percent? We'll do it the same way. Is number is 4.6. The of number is 46. The percent number we don't know is an x, and we still have it over 100. So multiplying the diagonals. And I'm not suggesting that you write this. I'm doing this for demonstration purposes, but you shouldn't write it on your paper like that. What you should just write is 46 times x equals 4.6 times 100, or simplifying 46x equals 100 times 4.6. Anytime you multiply by 100, or any power of 10, 10, 100, 1000, etc., you can say however many zeros there are, that's how many places we move the decimal over from the number. So 4.6, the decimal moves over 2 times to become 460. And now what we've got is 46x divided by 46 equals 460 divided by 46. And hopefully you can mentally make the leap to say that's clearly 10. And let's do that one more time. Is over of equals percent over 100. And what are we filling in what we know? So let's take a look. Is 31.6 of 50, and what percent? So the is number is 31.6. The of number is 50. The percent number is x, because we are looking for that. So when we multiply the diagonals, we say 50 times x equals 31.6 times 100. Simplifying that to 50x equals 3,160. And 50x then divided by 50 equals 3,160 divided by 50, or x equals, and you should be able to see that these zeros cancel out, leaving you just 316 divided by 5. And you can do that problem off to the side. Let's zoom in and do 316 divided by 5. Oops, right here. Let me first group all of those so that when we zoom in here, 316 divided by 5, you could say 5 goes into 31 6 times, that's 30. Bring down the 6. 5 goes into 16 3 times, that's 15. We're left with a 1. We can annex a 0 here after putting the decimal. 5 goes into 10 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Leaving the 0, and then so you have this as an answer. Okay, so then zooming back out. We've got x is equal to 63.2. As I said before, if you're going to do calculations, make sure that they're off to the side somewhere that does not interrupt your work. I have the convenience of being able to zoom in and out. You don't, so find a separate piece of paper or something and do your calculations over there. Anyway, that's what it looks like.